Welcome back, it's Tiredest Chat, and today we're going to be playing Luce Spenta. I doubt I pronounced that correctly. But it is a game where you judge the dead and then in turn are going to be judged by, I don't know, maybe Morta, who is the AI generated character here. But it is available on Steam. I did receive a free copy of it. But yeah, we're going to get into it. There is trigger warning, suicide, mental health issues, and violence. But let's go ahead and get into it. And it's not showing the screen. Okay, hold on. Okay, it shows it there. And I click on the thing and it doesn't show. Wait, it flashed. Is it an issue with my OBS or not? Looks fine and I'm out of the game. See my cursor. Huh. Hold on. What if we... this way. There we go. Okay, that works. Alright. This game is a game of choices. Every decision you make can alter the course of the story and your experience as a player. This game can... no, yeah, what I just talked about there. Oh, there you are. Welcome. Here you. And why am I here? I'm Morta. Don't be afraid. You're not dead. You know better than anyone where you are. I should be asking you. Who are you? I'm TARDIS. TARDIS fine. I'll remember it. Your name already says more than you think. Let's continue. This is a place outside of time. What comes next is decided here. You'll face stories that aren't yours, but they'll speak about you, who you are, and what you value. In the end, you will pass judgment. There aren't truly correct answers. You are the judge. You will judge. Ready to look inward? Don't answer. You'll do it anyway. That's why you opened this file on your computer, isn't it? No, I opened it because I need to play it for a video because I got it for free. Just to see everything. That is why I'm here. Don't worry about trying to decipher me. You'll know later. For now, this is the place where the soul is judged, though perhaps you already sensed it. 5 graves, 5 stories. Each one will put you to the test. Choose carefully. Not everyone can withstand looking at themselves. And not everyone is willing to accept what awaits them. We'll guide you on the path ahead, TARDIS. Oh. A mirror. Silent Child. Ivan. Rebecca. And Adrian. And that's just a thing. Yeah, we'll just go left or right. Adrian. Adrian, did you choose him for something in particular? Or just to continue the... Rude. You're about to begin with a depressing story. I'm ready to see your judgment in this case. Hello, I am Adrian. I see my time to be judged has come. I do not regret it. Well, let's get to the point. You didn't come to hear my thoughts, but my story, didn't you? Correct. I'm only here to judge you. Judge as you wish. You cannot bring back the past anyway. The only thing I ask is that before you judge, think about my motivations and think about my final actions. It all began one summer in the 60s. Fragmented Memories, 1968. I would never get used to the suffocating air of this mine. The pay is good, but God knows what this is going to do to my health. Oh, yeah. Black lung. But well, as I said before, there are advantages. The salary, and I'm close to home, so I can spend time with my daughter and wife. That little girl would truly do anything for her, no matter what happens. I will protect her until the end. Adrian, are you okay? You seem spaced out. I've been calling you for a while. Oh, it seems my mind has drifted off for a moment. Sorry, my friend. Yes, I was thinking about how to deal with some things. Don't worry. Hand me some coffee and the pickaxe. We need to finish this today. Of course, my friend. Come on. We still have several hours left in this damned pit. My grandpa was a miner when he was in elementary school. Well, when he quit elementary school. Returning from work that day, I saw in the distance my little girl, Marissa, running towards me. Interesting houses for the 60s. The sight that makes me happiest in the world. Marissa ran toward me with a smile that seemed to light up the entire dusty road of the village. Marissa, playing with your friends again. Daddy! Look what I found while I was playing with my friends. The little girl stopped right in front of me, her cheeks flushed from the sun and her breathing heavy from so much running. In her tiny hand, she held something with great care. It's a bird, ain't it? Oh, it's a flower. She ain't got no teeth. A flower for you, because you work so much and you always come home tired, but still hug me, bring me gifts, and help Mom. He's a man. He doesn't help unless he needs something. It's beautiful, my love. Thank you. Where did you get it? Near the river with the kids from school. We were gathering flowers for something special. Something special? Yes, do you remember the boy I told you about, who was always quiet and kept himself even though we tried to include him? The boy I walked home yesterday. Yes, the Rotstein boy. What happened? He died, Daddy, this morning. Oh, they said it at school. He had a terrible illness they couldn't cure. They told us he's in a better place now, but I don't know. My heart tightened, not for the boy, whom I barely knew, but the way my daughter spoke of death, with a mix of innocence and premature understanding. His father is my boss, not the best of men, but I wouldn't wish the pain of losing a child on anyone. I can't even imagine it. Yeah, it's a terrible thing. So we all brought flowers for him. We left them in the plaza where we used to play hopscotch, but I wanted to give one to you because I thought they were pretty. You did well, Marissa. Sometimes you can't do much more than that. To be present, to remember. I don't want you to ever die. I'll got some sad news for you, kid. Her words made me pause for a moment. I wasn't expecting it. I didn't want her to carry that fear at such a young age. That won't happen, my love, I promise. I'll be with you for many more years. I want to see you grow, study, marry, and become a successful woman. We walked back along the village path. She was cheerful with my answer, while I held the flower in my hand and an invisible weight in my chest. Let's go home. Mom must be waiting for us with dinner. Do you think the boy up there will like the flowers we gave him? I'm sure he will. There you are, just in time. I was about to reheat the food. Sorry, we stopped for a while at the plaza. Marissa wanted to show me something. I gave him a flower, Mom, and I told him about the boy from school. Yes, I heard. Such a sad situation. The mother was completely devastated at the funeral. He already had the funeral. He just died. Like that day, didn't he? And the father wasn't there? No, no one saw him there. They say he wasn't present at any moment. Now I think about it, I didn't see him at the mine today either. That's strange. Well, not really strange, because his kid just died. He's a strange man, always distant, even with his own family. We sat at the table, the smell of stew filled the air, and although the conversation had begun on a somber note, the home offered a moment of refuge. How was work? Hard. The new vein is deep and very damp. It will still take us days to clear everything. And doesn't your back hurt from being down there so long? A little, but when I get here and see you both, it all goes away. I don't want you to overwork yourself. I know you do it for us, but you must also take care of yourself. I know, but now more than ever, I want to make sure you never lack anything. At school, they said tomorrow we'll make drawings to remember the boy. I want to draw flowers. What a lovely gesture, my daughter. I'm sure he would have liked them. We continued dinner with soft smiles and anecdotes. I told them how a coworker fell into the mud and lost a boot that wasn't even his. How do you lose a boot that's not yours? Unless you took it? I don't know. And there we were, all looking for the damned boot with him buried up to his knees. That sounds like a storybook. You should write those stories down someday. Maybe when I retire. You're a coal miner. You're going to retire and die of black lung in the same year. Or get crushed. When we finished dinner and washed the dishes together, the three of us, Marissa insisted on drying, though she left more water on the table than on the rag. Everything's dry now. More or less. Time for bed, darling. You have school early tomorrow. Can I sleep with you tonight? Just for tonight. That night, the three of us slept together, Marissa in the middle, like when she was little. For a moment, everything seemed to be in balance. The sun was just peeping through the window when I opened my eyes. Marissa was still sleeping between us, a leg draped over my stomach. You've been awake long? Just a few minutes. I stayed watching you sleep. You both look so peaceful. She took all this better than I expected. Her classmate, the death, the flowers. Yes, that's what makes me happy. She has a maturity that sometimes frightens me. It means we did things right. Even with everything around us, she is still growing with love. As I was getting dressed, she turned on the kitchen radio. Oof, that caught me off guard. Enemy troops are advancing from the north and have crossed the outer limits of the capital. Movements have been reported near the railway facilities. They're only 30 kilometers from here. Calm down. They have no interest in this village. There's nothing here to draw them in. Oh, okay. That doesn't make me feel any calmer. I know, but for now we can do nothing but go on with our lives. She sighed and handed me a cloth bag with lunch. I prepared something for you to take. It's hot, but if you keep it closed, it'll last until noon. Thank you. You're the best thing I have. I'm ready. Should we go, Daddy? Of course. Say goodbye to Mom. Goodbye, Mom. Take care, both of you, and please don't be too late. We walked out along the same path as always. The morning was fresh, and the breeze carried with it the smell of damp earth. Did you sleep well? Yes, I really like sleeping in the middle. I feel safer. You know you'll always be protected. Oh, she's gonna die. Can I sit next to Julia in class today? Weren't you mad at her? Yes, but she apologized, and she brought me a homemade cookie. Hard to say no to that. Today we'll have drawing, and the teacher said we can make whatever we want. I think I'll draw flowers again. That sounds good. Although you could also draw Mom and me, or us walking like this. That would make Mom cry, but with happiness, right? Exactly. Did you draw when you were a kid too? More or less. I drew pickaxes and carts, because you were a man. I wanted to be a miner since I was little. Life's surprises. Nobody wants to be a miner when they're little. I don't want to be a miner. I want to be a teacher or a baker. You're not going to grow up to be either. Whatever you want to be, you will be. Just promise me you'll always stay the way you are now. Oh, she will, because she's going to die. How am I? Brave, sweet, and with a heart bigger than the whole village. I promise. I'm getting tired. It is almost 3 o'clock in the morning. We arrived at the school entrance. Marissa gave me a quick hug, one of those that last only a moment but leaves your heart tight. Good luck today, I said as she ran off towards the door. I stood for a few seconds watching her go inside, and then continued on the path to the mine. As soon as I reached the gallery, my co-worker was already leaning against a rock, pickaxe in one hand and a grin on his face as if he'd just come back from vacation smoking a cigarette. Gross. Finally, you're here. I thought you'd fallen asleep holding your daughter. Wouldn't be such a bad way to start the day. Though dads don't actually act like that. Come on. Did you get any sleep at least? A little, just enough. And you? Just enough to. My wife spent the night snoring like a beast. I swear, I thought a train was coming through the window. That sounds like me. We laughed a little. It was one of those moments when the body kept working, but the mind looked for any excuse to wander. Today, we're on the old gallery, right? I have no idea what that means. Yes, it's damp and slippery. We need to be more careful. Perfect. Just what I needed to finish wrecking my back. Did you see the boss this morning? No, you? Neither, though lately he shows up when you least expect it. They say he didn't get to go to the funeral, but the mother was alone with the body. I don't know if that surprises me. He was never very expressive. No, but this is different, Adrian. It's his son. It's true. There he is. Am I interrupting something, boys? David's voice cut through the air like a stone into stagnant water. We hadn't even heard him approach. No, sir. We were just about to get back to work. Were you about to get back, or have you been talking nonsense for 10 minutes? Silence was answer enough. His presence was intimidating, but this time more than ever. His knuckles were raw, as if he had struck something. He hadn't even bothered to bandage them, and his face was more serious than usual. Focus. This place doesn't forgive mistakes. Wait, hold on. He's a smoker. This place doesn't. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to warn anyone else. Understood? Yes, sir. Adrian. I've seen you distracted lately. I don't like it. I don't want to repeat myself. I'm sorry. I'll be more careful. You'd better. There's no room here for wandering thoughts. I watched him for a few seconds. His gaze was firm, harsh, but there was something behind it, something restrained. I'm very sorry about your son. ... I didn't come here to talk about that. Do your job. I watched him vanish into one of the tunnels without even looking back. The sound of his footsteps faded, as if the mine itself had swallowed him. I don't know if I said the right thing. Perhaps there was no right way to say it. There's not. ... I sighed, picked up the pickaxe, and went back to work. Just another of so many gray days underground. Although something in the air told me this day would not be like the others. The rest of the day passed in dust, sweat, and silence. My friend spoke from time to time, but I was no longer there. Each word weighed heavier on me than the pickaxe. When I finally finished my shift and was taking off my gloves, I heard the same voice as this morning. Adrian. Turned around. He was behind me again, silent as ever. You're done for today, aren't you? Yes, just now. Walk with me. I didn't ask where. I just nodded, left my things, and followed him. We left the mine and took the dirt road back to the village. The sun was already setting. The light painted the houses in that weary orange that only exists at the end of a long day. We walked for a while without speaking, only the crunch of our steps on the gravel and the distant hum of the wind through the dry leaves. I know this job is a tightrope for many. Some keep going out of habit, others out of fear, and a few out of conviction. I keep going out of necessity for my family. That's precisely why I'm talking to you. I forgot he's got the smoker voice. We stopped in front of an old stone bench near the edge of the village. From there, you could see part of the road that wound along the hill. No one nearby, no one listening. I need you to help me with something. What kind of help? Your little friend. I want to know if he's involved in anything. Theft, irregularities, explosives, tools, whatever it is. My little friend, you mean my little miner buddy? Do you really think he would do something like that? I don't care whether I believe it or not. I need a reason to take him out of the way. A legitimate excuse. My body tensed, not from fear, but from the discomfort of being placed at the center of something I couldn't control. If you cooperate, you'll receive a sum, nothing that will make you rich, but more than you'd earn here in years. Pause. He watched me to see if that moved me. And besides, there's a position available to the south, a smaller, more stable mine, far from all this. You could take your family, live in peace. You know the war is coming. ... You don't have to make anything up. I just need you to tell me if you notice something, a strange move, a lie, a tool that doesn't return to its place. The air grew heavy all at once, and Sebastian's image came to mind. Sebastian. His laughter, his silly jokes, the way he had worked by my side for years. Oh, a Miner buddy. Well, they just called him Miner on the thing. Do you want an answer now? No, think about it until tomorrow. With that, he turned around and began walking back without a word. I was left alone, with the wind rustling through the trees and the rough stone of the bench beneath my fingers. A transfer, more money, safety for Sarah, for Marissa, far from the capital, far from the war. But at the price of betraying the only person who'd ever extended a hand to me without asking for anything in return. Well, obviously, if you're a decent person, you don't accept the offer. I leaned forward. I was on my knees. I felt my body exhausted and my soul divided. What kind of man will I be if I say yes? What if I say no? What kind of father will I be? You'll be a father teaching his child the right way to do shit. I didn't have the answer, but the next day was drawing near, and with it, the choice. Dinner had been quiet. Sarah cooked something light, and Marissa talked about school with the energy of someone who has yet to perceive the dangers of the world. When we finished eating, we kissed her on the forehead, and she went up to her room. We heard her softly singing as she settled into bed. After that, only Sarah and I remained, sitting in front of the empty plates. The silence between us wasn't uncomfortable, but it was heavy. You haven't said much since you came back. I've been thinking. About what? I looked at her. I hesitated for a few seconds. Part of me wanted not to tell her to carry this alone, but in the end, I excelled. I spoke. My leg is going numb. David offered me something today, something important, but it isn't clean. I'm a near coal miner. Nothing's clean. What does that mean? He wants me to help him get someone out of the way. Not directly. He just needs an excuse, something that will give him a valid reason. And why you? Because he knows I need it. He offered me money and a transfer to a mine in the south. Stable, safe, with housing included. ... Sarah looked away. Her expression didn't change much, but her shoulders dropped slightly, as if the weight of it all had suddenly fallen on her. He didn't order me. He gave me time. He said I have until tomorrow to think about it. He's probably giving the other guy the same deal. Who's the person he wants to remove? My coworker, the one who's always with me in the gallery, Sebastian. He didn't give me any details, only that he needs something to justify it. Not in America, you don't. Sarah rested her elbows on the table and covered her face with her hands, but she didn't cry. She just stayed like that in silence, breathing deeply. I don't understand why things have to come to this. Neither do I. And what do you plan to do? I don't know. It's a real opportunity, something that could protect us. You, Marissa, ... It took her a while to respond. She got up from the chair and walked to the window, pulled the curtain slightly aside, and looked out at the street. Outside, night had already covered the village, but a few lights from the neighboring houses could still be seen. The shadows seemed longer than usual. I listened to the radio almost all day today. Each hour was worse. The troops are advancing. It's no longer a possibility. It's a countdown. Do you think we should leave? I don't know. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of thinking about what could happen. Of imagining Marissa running toward me, terrified. Of thinking about sirens, about gunfire, about having to leave with nothing but the clothes on her back. She turned toward me. Her eyes were wet, but there were no tears. Only that heavy clarity of someone who has already imagined all the worst and still can't decide which is worse. I can't tell you what to do. I can't judge you if you accept. Just think it through. Think if afterwards you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror, and if you can't, then at least make sure you can look at her without regret. We went upstairs to sleep, or at least we tried. Sarah lay down with her back to me. She didn't say goodbye. She didn't say goodnight, not out of anger, but because she knew there would be none. I stayed staring at the ceiling, counting cracks, listening to every sound of the wood, every creak of the old walls. The darkness embraced me with the cold of heavy decisions. I closed my eyes and memories came without order, without meaning. And then, one in particular came to me. Once, a few months ago, he, my coworker, made a joke during a break. He said he was going to take a wrench home to fix his car. Everyone laughed, even me. No one took him seriously. But the next day, the tool never came back. We didn't ask. We didn't take inventory. Nobody cared. No one cared about it. Maybe he returned it later, maybe not. No one will ever know. But David doesn't need proof. He only needs an excuse. And now I have it. ... I thought of Marissa, her smile tonight, her calm voice, her drawings, the way she hugged me when I came back from work. I thought of Sarah looking out the window, unable to tell me yes, but not daring to tell me no. I thought of the war, of the news, of what could happen if I stayed here, of what I could lose. And in the end, I didn't think anymore. I simply decided I was going to do it. Morning had come sooner than expected, or perhaps I hadn't slept at all. I dressed in silence, kissed Sarah on the forehead without waking her, and took Marissa by the hand to walk her to school. The same path as always, the same houses, the same stones on the road, but everything felt heavier, as if the air itself knew what I was about to do. Today I have a reading test. I practiced last night before bed. Do you feel ready? Yes, though the part with commas is a little hard for me. Just breathe when you see one, like giving the sentence a rest. Life will put many trials before you, and you must learn to get through them without feeling bad or suffering over them. And what will you do at work today? The question hurt more than I expected. For a moment I wanted to lie, to tell her everything was normal. And it was, at least on the surface. The usual, my girl, a bit of effort so you never go without anything. Mom said we could make cake on Sunday if you have time. Of course, we'll make it together, the three of us. She smiled, a simple, honest smile, the kind of gesture one cannot fake, the kind of smile that, if it had a price, would be impossible to pay. And then I knew there was no turning back. If I had to carry this burden, I would, for her. I walked her to the school door. I watched her run off with her backpack half open, the ribbon in her hair fluttering in the wind. I didn't call her. I didn't stop her. I just watched until she disappeared among the other children. Adrian, morning, old man. Name him. Give him his name. Everything good? I forced a smile. It was brief, almost a grimace. Yes, all good. I didn't look at him for long. I didn't want to. I rubbed the back of my neck and kept walking toward the main section of the gallery. Adrian, come with me. I nodded without speaking, followed him through one of the side corridors into an empty maintenance room. He stopped, folded his arms. I didn't say anything right away. I just stood there until I spoke. First, the money and the transfer. David frowned. It was clear he didn't like being given conditions. You're going to be that direct. I want to be sure. I won't risk being left in the middle. ... He turned without a word and opened a metal drawer. He pulled out a thick, sealed envelope and a set of papers with a form already signed. He handed them to me without looking directly at me. There's your payment and the transfer papers. Tomorrow the train leaves from the old station. 7 sharp. You'll be on the entry roster for the Las Coifas. I have no idea how to pronounce that mine. South, 300 kilometers from here. I took the envelope. It was real. All of it was real. ... I paused a moment longer, feeling my pulse racing and my stomach twisted, but I had to say it. A few months ago, he took a wrench home, said it was to fix his car, said it was a joke. Everyone laughed. He never brought it back. Silence. David didn't react with surprise. He only nodded slowly as if it was enough. Perfect. He pulled a form from his folder. I'll need your mining license for the transfer file. Oh, wait, we need his scruffy smoker voice. I'll need your mining license for the transfer file. I pulled it from the inner pocket of my jacket. I looked at it for a few seconds before handing it over. It was just a piece of laminated cardboard, yet it weighed on me as if years of my life were stuck to it. I handed it to him in silence. Go on, get some rest. Tomorrow will be a long day. I didn't respond. I couldn't. I only nodded, turned my back on him, and walked toward the exit without looking back. I didn't hear him say goodbye. I don't know if he did, but his voice no longer mattered to me. Only the echo of my own footsteps remained, and the feeling that, by crossing that door, I had left something buried forever. I arrived at the school earlier than usual. I walked without hurry, as if each step stretched the minutes so I wouldn't have to face what I had already done. The yard was almost empty. A few mothers chatted on the sidewalk. Children ran about. A dog slept in the shade. I leaned against the same post, the place where I waited for her every day I left work early, but today time felt thicker. Several minutes passed before I heard her voice among the laughter. Dad, what are you doing here so early? I left work early. I wanted to pick you up. Are you okay? I stayed silent a second too long, she noticed. Yes, everything's fine. She didn't ask anything more, but her eyes stayed fixed on me as we started our way home. The breeze blew softly. The sound of dry leaves crunched beneath our steps. For a while, we didn't say anything. Marissa walked up beside me, looking ahead. My eyes were on the ground, as if the weight of everything I had done sank my feet into it. Today, the teacher read us a story about a bear who wanted to fly, but everyone laughed at him. I nodded, I think. And in the end, the bear didn't fly, but everyone learned something. I nodded again. I'm not sure I heard the ending. I only heard her voice like an echo, a thread tying me to the surface. I wanted to talk to her, to tell her everything would be fine, but I didn't know if it was true, so I chose silence over lying. We kept walking. She talked about school, about her friend Julia, about a drawing she had made in class. I answered with monosyllables, but my mind was far away. And then I remembered. ... My license. Duh. I had left it in the room with David on the table among the transfer papers. I stopped for a few seconds, thought about going back, walking the 2 kilometers to the mine. But the very idea of going back inside, of running into him, of seeing his face, churned my stomach. And Marissa was with me. I wasn't going to expose her to that place, not today. I'll pick it up tomorrow, early. I kept walking in silence. The sun was sinking slowly, and the shadows stretched long across the ground. You're back already? Yes. Is everything calm around here? The usual. Why? I looked at her for a second. I thought about keeping it to myself, but there was no point. Not after what I had done. We need to talk. Her face changed, not fear, but immediate seriousness, instinct, intuition. Marissa. Sweetheart, I want to go play upstairs for a while. Mom and Dad need to talk alone. Is something wrong? Nothing bad, don't worry. Just go, please. We waited in silence until we heard the upstairs door close. Then I spoke. I did it. ... I gave him what he needed. David has his excuse now. He gave me the money and the papers. Tomorrow we leave for the south. Is it final? Yes, the train leaves at 7. The transfer is already signed. And your partner? He doesn't know yet. I didn't tell him. I just left what was needed in David's hands. I don't want to talk to him. David has probably already thrown him out. ... She sat down slowly, as if the weight of it all had just fallen on her. She looked at the floor, fingers intertwined. She didn't say anything for a few seconds. It's not what I wanted to do, but it was this, or risk losing you both. Sarah lifted her gaze. There was no reproach in her eyes, only a mix of fear and acceptance. Then, should I start packing? Yes, just the minimum. Only the essentials, documents, some clothes, Marissa's things. Everything else we leave behind. Understood. She got out without a word, walked to the wardrobe, opened a couple of drawers, made no noise. She just moved with that methodical rhythm of someone who can't stop to think or they'll break. I stayed seated, watching her. Why didn't you help, motherfucker? Listening as the day faded through the window. The shadows grew inside the house. The clock ticked on without pause, and silence became part of the air. How much longer is this one? Been going for over half an hour. That's how the rest of the day went, with no extra words and no unnecessary gestures. Only the sound of a house that, little by little, was beginning to empty. Oh, God. The sound of the radio woke us before dawn. It wasn't songs or the usual news. It was a deep, sharp, hurried voice. The transmission was full of static, but we understood it clearly. Breaking news, troops were entering St. Dalian. Attacks were reported in nearby rural areas. No hostages are being taken. Evacuation is advised immediately. Those who can take the 7 o'clock train, do it now. It may be the last way out. Sarah looked at me with a pale face. Marissa came down the stairs with her teddy bear in hand, still half asleep. Let's go, now. We grabbed the suitcases we had packed the day before. Sarah carried what she could, and I took the rest. Marissa walked between us, confused but silent. The station was chaos. A crowd pressed against the barriers, some crying, others shouting for space, children lifted in arms, open suitcases, desperate people everywhere. And then gunshots were heard, distant but real, like a threat breathing just beyond the forest. My God, are they going to reach here? I held her close. Marissa nestled between us. The sky was beginning to lighten, but nothing in the air felt like a new day. Where's the train? Why is it just standing there? It has to come. It will come. They must be getting it ready. And right at that moment, I remembered. Your license. The license. I'd left it in the mine. Without it, I couldn't validate the transfer. Couldn't work. Couldn't provide for them. I swallowed hard. Oh, he's going to leave them when they're going to die. I felt my heart drop into my stomach. What is it? What's that look? I left my license in the mine. What? You can't go now. Without it, I can't work in the other mine. It's not optional. They're coming. You heard what they said on the radio. They're not leaving anyone alive, Adrian. No one. ... Please stay. The train will come. It will. I have to go. I leaned in and kissed her quickly, firmly, like someone who doesn't know if they'll return. Take care of her. No matter what happens, get on that train. I looked down at Marissa. She was trembling. I crouched and held her. She felt small, fragile, as if she could shatter with the wind. I love you, Princess. Everything I do is for you. It always will be. And then I ran. I didn't turn. I didn't look back. The sound of voices, of gunfire, blended with the frantic pounding of my heart, and in my head a single phrase. I had to go back. For them. I ran. I didn't think. I didn't breathe. I just ran. The streets were no longer streets. They were rubble, smoke, shattered glass mixed with mud. Houses that yesterday were homes were now in ruins, open to the gray sky. The smell of gunpowder, fire, burnt wood was everywhere, as if the very air had turned to ash. I saw bodies, not many, but enough. I saw a crushed bicycle, a doll laying in a puddle, a radio still playing words no one was listening to anymore. But I didn't stop. I had to make it. Every step was a decision, every corner a memory, but I couldn't look back. My family was at the station, my license in the mine, and hell everywhere. The air in the mine felt different. It wasn't the dust, it was something else, a sticky silence, as if the very walls knew what I had done. I moved forward slowly, my boots sinking into the damp earth. No voices, no tools, only the echo of my own footsteps. What are you doing here? His voice cracked like a whip, not in surprise, out of fury. I froze. I couldn't even raise my eyes. I knew this was coming, but I wasn't ready to face it. I just came to get something. Guess something, after what you did. I didn't come to argue. Then why did you come for it? To pretend nothing happened? I swear I'll explain everything later. Right now there's no time. No time. You spent weeks by my side, sharing bread, sweat, and silence, and the only thing you can say to me is there's no time. I swallowed hard. My throat felt like paper. I couldn't even meet his gaze. I did it for my family. Of course you did it for your family. It's always for the family. And what was I? A dog? Just another tool? I never wanted it to end like this. Then why did you start it? I didn't answer. There was no way to explain something that without it There was no way to explain something like that without it sounding like an excuse. You know what you did, and you think that by coming here, grabbing something and talking to me, you can just carry on like nothing happened. I need to work at the other mine. My license is here. If I don't bring it, they won't let us on the train. Then screw you. ... Silence fell. He stared at me, his breath trembling, eyes burning, jaw clenched as if he were holding himself back from killing me right then and there. I trusted you, more than anyone in this world, and you sold me out like I was trash. David had already decided. He just needed an excuse. You didn't have to give it to him. He stepped forward, raised his fist. I didn't dodge the blow. I felt bone crack against my face. I hit the floor, cold metal beneath me, the taste of blood on my tongue, and a sharp ringing in my ears. I did nothing. I didn't defend myself. I deserved it. From the ground, I watched him move, breathing hard. He pulled away, went to his corner, and began packing his things, furious, desperate, as if he needed to escape both this place and me at once. I only came for the license. Go, take your damn paper, and never come back. I hope those soldiers don't let you get away. And so I headed to the office. It was just as always, messy, dirty, cold. I opened the door and there it was, my license, that cursed laminated scrap worth more than loyalty. I grabbed it and then I heard something. It wasn't my breathing, nor his. Footsteps, voices, quick and urgent. I bolted out of the office, my heart pounding like a hammer. And then I saw them. Soldiers, 4 or 5, uniformed, armed, stern, cold. They entered through the main gallery as if they already knew the way, and I understood everything. ... It was late, too late. Beside me, he reappeared, my partner. He no longer had his bag, no longer had fury, only fear. What do we do? That question changed everything. In a second, the punch, the betrayal, the pride all vanished. The only thing left was instinct. I wasn't going to let him die there. Whatever was left of our friendship was there. We both understood it. We couldn't die. One of the soldiers pointed at us. There. Ooh, that spooked me. And the gunfire began. Bullets, whistling, shards of rock flying, the roar tearing through our eardrums. With me, this way. I threw myself into the old corridor, the one few used. The one with the emergency exit buried under rubble. It's not good for the exit to be buried under rubble. We ran, without thinking or speaking, just running. The sound of gunfire faded behind us, but fear was breathing down our necks. And as I ran, with the license in my pocket, in my heart and my throat, I wondered if I'd ever be able to forgive myself, or if that was the real price of survival. The tunnel narrowed, the gallery grew lower, damper, more final. The echo of our steps mixed with the drum of a heartbeat. I didn't know if it was mine or his. I only knew we couldn't run forever. And then I saw it. In a corner, covered in dust, splinters, and bits of metal, the old crate of dynamite, open, loose fuses, damp, but still usable. They used dynamite here to clear the way months ago. My voice sounded hollow, as if it came from another body. We can use it. If I light it as soon as you get through, I can blow the tunnel, block their way. No, don't even think about it. If they get closer, if they come through here, we won't both make it out. You don't know that. I do, and it doesn't matter. Listen, I stopped. I couldn't tell him, I owe you this. I couldn't say I betrayed you. But now I want redemption. Not out loud, not now. There was no time. You have to survive. We'll go together. We can make it out. You don't get it. If I don't do this, then everything was for nothing. You don't have to die for what you did. Well, that's the other guy's line. Oh, well. But that's the only thing I can do to make it right. Silence slipped back in between the shouts. And then a figure. Ooh, a child. It didn't come with shouts or gunfire. It just appeared like a specter crossing through the dust. It was a soldier, but barely a boy no older than 16. The uniform hung loose. The helmet covered half his face. His eyes empty, as if his soul had already left days ago. Stop. Don't move. His voice trembled, but his finger was steady on the trigger. The rifle was aimed at us, at what was left of this world. ... The fuse was half a meter away, the lighter in my hand, my friend beside me frozen, like a statue that breathed. You have to go, now. You won't do it. I placed the license in his hand. Please. I turned to look at him one last time. On his face, I didn't just see fury. I saw fear, sadness, understanding, and worse than all of it, forgiveness. Run. And I shoved him hard. In that instant, I dropped the lighter onto the fuse, a spark, a line of fire racing through dust and stone. The soldier reacted. He didn't think, just let out a dry, nervous shout. No! I lunged at him. We slammed against the wall. We struggled, the rifle between us. His face trembled, but his arms were strong. The war had turned him into something else. He struck me with the butt. Pain exploded in my ear. Oof, I fell to my knees, but I rose again in rage. I shoved him against the rotten wood. He raised the weapon again, but it was already too late. The fuse was almost touching the block. I couldn't hear it. The crackling was like a clock marking the end. Dot, dot, dot. And then I stopped. I breathed. I looked at the boy who looked back at me, and even though he was the enemy, even with a weapon in his hand, I understood. He was afraid too, but I wasn't anymore. I smiled, not out of bravery, not out of arrogance. I smiled because I understood. It was the end. Dot, dot, dot. I thought of Marissa, her hug, how she played in the garden, how she curled up when she was cold. I thought of Sarah, her tired but steady voice, her hand on my back that night when we said nothing. I thought of my mistakes, my weakness, my broken promises. I had promised my daughter I wouldn't die, and yet I knew they would never see me again, that the train would leave, that their lives would go on without me. But I also knew they were alive, safe. And for the first time in a long time, I felt peace. I redeemed myself. I saved my friend. I allowed myself to close my eyes just for a moment. But was it worth it? And that was my story. I told you I had no regrets, and it's true, not entirely. I don't know if it was worth it. I don't know if I was a coward or a good father, maybe both. I feel like a rat for betraying him. He trusted me. I knew what I was doing, but my feelings were honest. I wanted to protect them. They are alive because of me. In the end, even he ended up better off than I did. And thanks to me. And well, here I am. This is what I was, what I am. But I have no voice in what comes next. That I leave to you. What do we do? I don't think punishment is like the main. I don't know. As Eve's thinking of as a parent, you have to put your children first. I'm gonna forgive him. I didn't want to, but I'm going to, because oh God, that's fucking creepy. Truly, you forgive me. I don't know if I deserve it, but thank you. Truly. Maybe that means nothing after all. Something after all. Maybe my final decision truly was worth it. Adrian turns his back to you and walks toward the forest, slowly fading away, faintly illuminated by the moonlight. He breathes with nostalgia, and then he turns around. I truly didn't expect this. After betraying my friend, I thought I'd end up in hell. But I would have been happy there knowing my family was safe. I'm glad to see the judge knows what they're doing, and that my decisions weren't in vain. In the end, I have no regrets left. I only hope my loved ones had a good life, though I'll never know. Achievement! There is no turning back, whatever that phrase said. Ooh. I don't speak, what was that, Latin? Everything went dark as soon as the judgment ended. And without knowing how, you now stand at the edge of a dark, silent forest. In the distance, you see a faint light among the trees, a path, the way back, perhaps. Your steps crunch on the damp soil, and your thoughts are still trapped in what you did. What did I do? Was it the right decision? Did you act out of emotion, out of logic, out of fear? Kind of out of logic and maybe a little of emotion. Then you feel it, the presence, eyes fixed on you from the darkness. Hello again, TARDIS. I hope you haven't lost your way. You forgave him. What an interesting choice. Many are incapable of showing compassion, not even after death. I know Adrian wasn't a bad person. But he made some poor choices. Everybody makes poor choices. I'm glad you're able to see beyond the lines in making your choice. However, we'll see if that soft heart of yours survives what's coming, TARDIS. Morta says nothing more, just turns and walks among the trees, as if expecting you to follow. What do you think of your decision now, looking back? I'm not sure what I did. Confidence. Interesting. I trust you'll keep that confidence when you reach the end of the path. A judge of life must stand firm if they wish to move forward. Anyway, this is just the beginning. Harder choices may await you, it may await ahead. Choose your next tomb, your next life. I'll be here. Well, we're going to actually end it here. I don't know if I will come back. I might want to get the rest of their stories. I actually did the story in the demo. Spoiler, I forgave her. But she was the only demo character. I mean, that's a child. Like, you can't punish a child for something like that. Unless he's a little psycho bastard. Anyway, we're going to leave it here, and yeah, if you happen to reach it this far, let me know. Bye-bye.